I've never worked at a place that had a chaplaincy program before. It's very new. It was very odd at first, and I really thought like, oh God, is this kind of like a Bible thumper employer that I'm going to be working for? No, not at all. Basically, like we're at work all day, every day, for our whole lives, and there's obviously things that are happening outside of work that would potentially affect every aspect of your life, not only when you're outside of work, but also when you're in work.
What the chaplaincy program does is it gives a safe place for people to think through and process with a trusted friend, someone that they can confide in. That's not somebody they report to, it's not somebody that they work with, but to begin to think through those issues that they're bringing to work in a healthy and constructive way.
Now what chaplaincy does for me is, as a business owner, is it allows me to be the business owner and to still provide some support, emotional support to my employees, to give them someone to call if there's a death in the family, if there's a crisis at home, if there's marital issues, if there's personal issues, whatever it is, there's somebody else that can come alongside them other than me so that I can do my job and they can do their job when they're here, to comfort them, to guide them, to walk with them, to talk with them. So the return on investment is huge, because you can imagine if you got too close in those personal situations or you had to also be pulled out, work wouldn't be getting done.
Steve was the stepping stone to me and my husband saving our marriage. We were actually separated for about 6 months. Had the divorce papers notarized and signed, just not sent in yet. And Steve was the only one who came to me consistently wanting to help save the marriage.
It helps keep the peace in the shop, because a lot of guys will sit there and talk about this guy and that guy, it's kind of shop talk, and then, it helps to talk about stuff like that. The chaplain, I think, really does help with personal problems on the shop, conflicts with other employees.
She was an employee here, and Steve had been at our company for a couple of years now, so we had all known him. And one day, her husband had a sudden aneurysm, and it was literally hours, and he had passed away in the hospital in Monticello. Steve was right there by her side the whole time, at the hospital, at her home with her family. She has 2 little girls. He helped her through it, and I do think that it allowed her to come back to work when she did and be able to go through life the way she is now.
In my point of view, from a human resources aspect, if I keep one employee that I would have lost without the program, it's paid for itself that year.
When you have a person in crisis, you both want to care for the person, but you also have to make up for the fact that they're not being productive. They may be out for an extended period of time, or there may be fallout from their inability to perform their job function. And so you're trying to deal with the person, and you're trying to deal with the work that needs to get done. And having the chaplains come alongside and at least bear part of that with you relieves managers, I think, to be more productive in what they're supposed to be about.